Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at what is the best charge move for Poliwrath. So in my last Poliwrath video for the Sinister Cup, I covered that I believe that Bubble is a better fast move than Mudshot. But in addition to Bubble and Power Up Punch, which is the preferred initial charge move, what is the best secondary charge move that you should be using? And in 90% of your battles, in 90% of the time, you're going to be using Power Up Punch, but there are some times and instances where, Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch, or Hydro Pump might come in handy. So let's dive straight into it. Let's first take a look at the stats of the available charge moves. I did exclude Submission and Return because those are both pretty poor moves for this particular meta. It doesn't mean that they're poor moves in general. I guess Submission is, but Return might have some use. But for right now, when we take a look at it, Hydro Pump does 130 damage, 75 energy, 1.73 DPE, and 2.076 DPE after stab. Ice Punch does 55 damage, 40 energy, 1.38, is the cheapest of all the charge moves, but is the least energy efficient, especially since there's no stab on it. Dynamic Punch, 90 damage, 50 energy, 1.8 DPE, 2.16 after stab, and is the most energy efficient of all the charge moves. So it's like a really interesting balance. One is the cheapest energy, one is the most energy efficient, and one hits the hardest. So let's dive a little bit further on how these perform in different shielding scenarios. So in the zero shield scenario, which Poliwrath is not necessarily that great in, we see that Hydro Pump actually comes out on top with a 35.5 win percentage, with notable wins against Alolan Marowak and Frostlass. And that Alolan Marowak win is pretty big, considering Alolan Marowak is rated #1 in PvPoke.com's Sinister Cup overall ranking. Ice Punch comes in second with 33.3. It does pick up the Latios win. Latios might be a spicy pick that some people might consider running, but that Ice Punch is going to deal super effective damage against that Latios. And then Dynamic Punch, unfortunately trailing at 26.9% and picking up no notable unique wins. When we look at the one shield scenario, again, this is us assuming that the other moves are Bubble and Power Up Punch. We see that Hydro Pump has 57 win percentage, and Ice Punch has a 61.3%, and Dynamic Punch trailing behind at 55.9%. And Ice Punch does pick up notable wins against Latios, against Haunter, and Executor if you do run into those. But again, the ratings are fairly similar most of the time because majority of your battles you're going to be using Power Up Punch. And in the two shields scenario, we see that Hydro Pump has a 54.8% win percentage, Dynamic Punch at 53.8, and then Ice Punch at 58.1, and picking up a notable two shield win against Drifblim, which is pretty big, which is a huge win considering Drifblim is going to be one of the staple ghosts that you're going to encounter in your battles. And so my overall conclusion is that they're all pretty similar, and that's because Power Up Punch is what you're going to be using 90% of the time, and therefore creates 90% of the results. With Shields Up, Ice Punch is better. Shields Down, Hydro Pump is a little bit better, but Shields Down, Poliwrath is not that great. Shields Down and is much better with Shields Up. Especially since that Power Up Punch is going to allow it to really ramp up its damage and really going to help it come out on top. And my last advice is don't use Dynamic Punch. It might help you win the mirror match, for example, especially I think in the one shield scenario, but it does generally perform poorer than Ice Punch and Hydro Pump. But again, the results are pretty similar. Even if you didn't run, you should have a secondary charge move. I always advocate for that, but certainly Poliwrath is one where it would pick up, again, 90% similar matchups with just Power Up Punch. So I'm going to leave it there. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.